Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. My name is Sitapati Das. No. Te estoy esperando. I just did.
Okay.
And
And my name is Danna Devi. Oopsies.
sorry. And this is Bhagavad-gita As It Is. Bhagavad-gita, the Song of God, As It Is, by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Chapter 6, Text number 3. Chapter 6, in the first edition, Sankhya Yoga. Second edition, Dhyāna-yoga. Okay, you want to do the Sanskrit?
ārurukṣor muner yogam kāraṇam ucyate yogārūḍhasya tasyaiva śamaḥ kāraṇam ucyate. ārurukṣoḥ.
Of one who has just begun yoga.
Muneḥ.
Of the sage.
Yogam.
The eightfold yoga system.
Karma.
Work.
Kāraṇam.
The cause.
Ucyate.
Is said to be.
Yoga.
Eightfold yoga.
ārurukṣa.
One who has attained.
Tasya.
His.
Eva.
Certainly.
śamaḥ.
Cessation of all material activities.
Kāraṇam.
The cause.
Ucyate.
Is said to be. Translation. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained to yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Interesting that yoga here is translated as the eightfold yoga system. Okay, Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You want to start it off?
The process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga, which may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names, but all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into 3 parts, namely jñāna-yoga, dhyāna-yoga, and bhakti-yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the yogārūḍhasya stage, and the highest rung is called yogārūḍha.
Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna-conscious person is, however, situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna. And being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. Om jñāna-yoga jñāna-shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Let's have a look at the changes, Has already attained to, is already elevated in yoga.
No changes.
Yeah, why? Why?
Because they like it prettier.
A Krishna-conscious person is, however, is situated, right. What is a split infinitive? It's not an infinitive, but
Okay.
right.
There's a little bit more explanation though than the other ones.
Yeah.
They did their homework there.
Well, yeah. Let's have a look. A Krishna conscious person is, however, situated from the beginning, so it's not closer to the manuscript. Yeah. It's just re-editing. It's a re-edit. It's just redoing the book.
I would rather read Srila Prabhupada's writing, typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The manuscript, however, that we have now is not Srila Prabhupada's original.
No, it's not at all.
Okay. The verse, for one who is a neophyte, work is said to be the means, and for one who's already attained to yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. This kind of, in a way, kind of contradicts previously, because here it says that, for one who's a neophyte, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained yoga, it's pretty much like in the beginning, working is the means, and then later on, cessation of material activities is the means. So it's kind of like could be understood in the sense of, bhakti or whatever is for the neophytes, and then later on you become like a renunciate and a sage, sit under a tree kind of thing. Let's have a look at it in the flow of the... Where did we hear this verse? About the mind being the best of friends. Was that tonight?
No. Yeah, she said some part of it.
Yeah.
In her talk.
Yeah, the beginning about the mind. We were at the Saturday Soul Feast in New Plymouth, flying the Hare Krishna flag.
And the Hanuman.
Yeah.
Hanumanji.
This yogārūṛukṣa and yogārūḍha. I don't know, why does it say the eightfold yoga system here?
Where does it come from, the eightfold yoga?
It's Ashtanga yoga. Ashta means 8 and anga means limbs.
Okay, so they're talking about Ashtanga yoga. Oh.
Yeah, the Ashtanga yoga of Patanjali, the Pratyahara, Dharana, Yama, Niyama, Asana.
Yeah.
I mean, it talks about asana here. Finding a balance, yeah. Krishna Loka also mentioned this verse here. So yeah, Krishna's talking about going into the woods and, practicing sitting, to practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and sit on a kusha grass mat with a deer skin and a soft cloth on it. Sit very firmly, practice yoga by controlling the mind and the senses, purifying the heart and fixing the mind on one point. So chapter 6 does resemble very closely Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and the way they describe yoga, and then what people think of as yoga today, which is, you go to a yoga studio.
Exercise. Oh, what's something about?
Up or down?
Up. Slowly though. Está mareando. A little. Yeah. 6:13 to 14.
One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose.
Wow. This is how you do the yoga.
Yeah, the yoga meditation, But you see, what's interesting about this, and as a former yoga teacher and yoga studio owner, the issue that you have there is the more you try to be authentic to like yoga practice, the more you get to this kind of idea here. Look here. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place.
Yeah.
But if you're a yoga teacher, you have to go to these yoga studios that are in like gyms or in the city, you know, lots of people there. So you start practicing yoga at the yoga studio, this kind of yoga, you know, yoga asanas.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, you know, I want to get more into it and become more serious as a yoga practitioner, and you become a yoga teacher, and then you get it more and more into it.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're in a quandary because in order to make a living out of it or whatever, you've got to teach these yoga classes, which is the exact opposite of actual yoga practice, which is to go to a secluded place.
Well, I don't think people will cope with going into a secluded place
Well, they do
these
for
days.
10 days, you know, they go and do that Vipassana meditation.
Oh, I want to do that. Actually, I'm so interested in that. 10 days.
10 days of silence. It'll drive you crazy.
It's okay. I'm already crazy anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, you'll probably enjoy it.
I will love it. I like silence.
You like doing intense things as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mind is quite focused when I want to do something. Okay. Get silent.
Yeah, I know my brain's working 100 miles an hour, but it's more about that conversation we were having at the
Okay, can we be here?
thing. That's about it. Nothing more to say.
Okay, so what do you think people should do now? Because, you know, some people are unable to do it because yoga they think is exercises. But this is about the yoga of the mind, concentrating the mind.
Well, it's kind of like Krishna actually, it's like Krishna says it in here, describes the whole thing. You know, like in the next chapter, no, it's not in the next chapter. Maybe it's in the 6th chapter itself. Arjuna says, I don't think I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds pretty, yeah, see, Arjuna says, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which is summarized appears impractical and unendurable for me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
Which is true.
Yeah, the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, and to subdue it, it seems to me, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Although the way Hayagriva edits, he put, is, it seems to me, more difficult. And then, so Krishna says, O Maidyan, son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by constant practice and detachment. Abhyas, yoga abhyas. Abhyasena. Abhyasena, by practice.
Mm.
Constant practice and by detachment. Abhyasena and vairagyena. What have I heard banging on about this point? It might have been maybe Vyasaki. Abhyasena and vairagyena, by constant practice and by detachment. So he says it is possible, but it's almost like this was presented kind of like to say that it's really difficult.
But that was like 5,000 years ago, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And since then, obviously, everything progressed and everything has become more polluted.
More difficult.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult because, you know, people cannot even be 1 minute without the phone.
Yeah.
And imagine these people doing all of this yoga, going to the forest and sitting in the kusha grass and meditating. It's like they will go nuts.
Yeah.
And, you know, people has to constantly entertain themselves in order to satisfy the whims of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be able to do that, you know. And that's quite hard to say because the mind is just dictating you everything.
Yeah, this 6th chapter is kind of like, I guess the Bhagavad-gita, in a sense, the Gita Upanishad is it's explaining like how all these different things that people see or conceive of, they all point to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
like you might think that, working in devotion or going into the forest and doing this thing, they're just completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
But Krishna is demonstrating, is explaining how they're all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even going to the gym can be yoga.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Okay, let's go to the Bhagavad, the
That's
6.3. The ATM today, it said ATM Mohio, smart ATM.
Really?
Yeah, in Harweda.
What does it mean, Mohio?
Mohio means smart or intelligent.
Mm.
What? I gotta sign in again. I've been signed out. Hang on. Dun dun dun. Let's go off that for a second.
No.
Let's sign in again.
Oh. Well, it's gonna be light.
Lasakundalam gokule brajamanam. Okay, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. It's 95% certain that it's got the right verse. Yep.
Tangata. Mm-hmm.
And this is edition 1.
Mm-hmm.
80% certain. What?
Katoa.
Katoa. All.
Tikanga. Hey, Tikanga.
Tikanga means like tradition or smriti. For a beginner in the 8-part yoga system, practice is called practice. For someone who has already mastered yoga, it is considered the last of all physical practices.
Yeah.
No. Hang on. Are there... For a person who has already mastered yoga, it is considered the last of all physical practices to practice. No. Tikanga, practice, like a tradition. Yeah. Formality, meaning. Katoa, all. Work. Body. Whakamutanga, termination. 4. Te tangata, the human, the person.
Cave.
Punaha, system. Waru wahanga. Wahanga means 8-part. Waru, 8. Waru wahanga, 8-part. Continuous. A cave. It reckons a cave. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's a continuous present tense marker.
Mm-hmm.
Ko te mahi hei tikanga. No, practice is called practice. That's not right. E kei ana ko te mahi hei tikanga. That work is called work is the tikanga. And then it says mahi atinana. The last of all physical practices. Determination. Yeah, so how come termination is not there? I don't think this translation here is, I don't think Google's accurately translated this.
No, I don't think so. It's a bit, I think that's quite funny how they translate it to that all physical practices is like.
Yeah.
Practice is the scholar practice for some. It's like, what? Doesn't make sense. Anyways.
Okay, you want to read it?
I don't think it makes sense, so there's no point for me to read it.
We're not really clear about this one.
No, it's not. I wouldn't like to read something that is not, doesn't,
Pakamutanga. Yeah, termination, cessation of all activities.
In
material.
a way, speaks the original. So nope.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's just go with the Sanskrit again.
Mm-hmm.
Ārurukṣor muner yogam karma kāraṇam ucyate yogārūḍhasya tasyaiva śamaḥ kāraṇam ucyate.
For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained to yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means.
Jai. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, total world victory.
Jai
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Jai Shri Krishna.